Hey y'all, how's it going? So today I want to talk about alignment and what it means to stay in alignment with yourself. Now, I do a lot of yoga, and I know in the yoga world people talk a lot about the physical, mechanical alignment of posturing. And that's fantastic, and it's wonderful to feel in alignment in your own body. But truly, coming into alignment in your own body is actually really coming into alignment with your mind and with your higher self. Not everyone is naturally going to be a physical practitioner. Not everyone in their life is going to need to use their bodies in a certain way. And so it's really important for us to kind of come away from what we might think alignment is and to feel into it. To me, alignment has everything to do with feeling good, feeling expansive, feeling healthy, feeling wealthy, feeling alive and excited and adventurous and free, ultimately, to feel really free in your own life. And to me, that comes very much from, of course, I've said it so many times, but taking responsibility for ourselves. Taking responsibility for all of the emotions that we feel, for all of the situations that we find ourselves in, that we are never ever helpless, that we are never ever a victim of this world or of this life, but indeed we are creators of it. Until we actually take responsibility for being the creator of our own life, it's actually very difficult to change anything because we're constantly feedbacking off of the external reality. And because we ourselves don't change, because all we're doing is deflecting ourselves back into a loop, you could say, so we get back into our patterns, because we never take responsibility, we don't own our power to change. We don't own our power to tweak our own perspective, which will then enhance or shift our vibrational frequency and how we're feeling ultimately. So we can be feeling really, really high, really ecstatic, or we can be feeling really low, really down. And actually, from the point of view of Source or the infinite creator or whatever, there is no right or wrong. It doesn't matter if you're choosing to feel down or if you're choosing to feel high. What matters is the recognition that you are the choice maker in your reality, that you are not a victim, that there's not things outside of you happening to you, but that you draw it in and become the creator of your own reality, of your own self, and then permission one another and inspire other people to do the same thing. That's such a big part of this movement. And so staying in alignment is simply about feeling good. And feeling good is about owning and recognizing our emotional body well enough that we can notice when we're having thoughts or visions that are making us feel small, that are making us feel unworthy and contracted. Own that creation in that moment. Okay, I see you unworthy, I see you stress, but I'm not going to pay you attention, or I'm not going to resist that you're there like it's something outside of me. Instead, I can own, okay, I see this stress, I'm clear that I'm choosing this stress. And then in that moment, usually of clarity, we can kind of detach from it a little bit, which creates space inside our own awareness for better things, ultimately, better things that will make us feel better. And we really have a choice whether or not we dwell on something that kind of makes us feel sad or upset, or whether or not we shift our mental focus into that which we would desire to create in our lives and completely detach from the external reality, completely detach from what you think your circumstances are. Because the circumstances are always a reflection of past thought, past creation. And so we don't really need to get stuck on where we are. We want to be mentally focused, fully engaged in the life and in the feelings that we're creating, and then have patience to allow it all to slot itself in. For me, I'm really aware of being in a place of unconditional neutrality. So it really doesn't matter what other people are experiencing. And from my own life journey, this I guess, like, place for me personally is totally miraculous, because I would always like take on people's emotions, or like if I'd see a homeless person in the street, I'd be like, oh no, I feel so bad, and like wanting to give them everything, but then not having enough, for myself, and sort of because of the sensitive connectivity, you call that an empath or an intuit. So you're picking up other people's vibes, that can be really disorienting and really kind of crazy, because you're trying to move forward and at the same time you're like feeling all of this other stuff which technically isn't necessarily yours. And I know for me, through deepening my own connection, for deepening like my own truthful sense of resonance, that that's who I am, that this is my purpose, that I'm allowed to be who I am, and I'm allowed to express what's within me, what my desires are, then the more I permission that, the more I'm able to stay in that connection and basically just allow people to be where they are. So if someone's sad in front of me, it's not that I don't feel the sadness anymore, but I don't get confused about it. I don't necessarily go into it. I recognize it there. It's there, and I basically ask myself to love it, just love it and shine light onto it and almost like embrace it. Because I think about like being a little kid, and if a little kid is sad, the mom doesn't like, or your ideal parenting isn't that the mom's like, you bad kid, you're awful, what have you done? If a kid's crying, the mom then comes and holds the baby or the kid, you know, like, you're all right, everything's okay, everything's okay. And so practicing when pain, emotion, stuff arises within my own energetic, that I don't like, or like, oh no, screw you for being tired, or like, you're such a loser for feeling this way. So instead of adding fuel to the fire, it's almost as if you withdraw everything, keep withdrawing everything until you can see like, oh look, there's that little conflict there, I'm going to release that. Oh look, my mind is focusing on this and it's making me feel sad, I'm going to release that. So every single one of us has really epic power as far as how we choose to like fine-tune our senses, and that's the subtle senses, fine-tune our subtle senses so that we're actually listening and communicating with the totality of our beingness rather than just our ears or just our eyes or just like regurgitating mental bullshit, basically. So being in tune with who you are, being willing to look at yourself and take responsibility for even the nastiest emotions or the nastiest creations, being able to take responsibility from them is a lot easier when we're coming from a place of neutrality, when we're coming from a place of non-judgment, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Because from that place, it's like anything goes. So even if I was like a super big bitch in a previous relationship, I don't have to carry that burden with me, that guilt with me. I basically forgive myself, transmute the energy, own it, absorb it, love it. And then what I find is that with each relationship encounter, I can be more loving, more forgiving. And ultimately what's important for me as a past people pleaser is to be able to stay in my integrity, to not be wobbled by other people's emotional frequency, but to stay in my integrity, to speak from my heart, and be willing to walk away from a situation if I can feel that I'm no longer being served, because I am the other. So even if someone else is having an emotional upheaval, if I know that I'm staying in my truth, in my integrity, what I understand is that is the higher call for all. That is the highest resolution for all, even though, again, the circumstances might look different to an egoic mind, to the conditioned mind that is used to operating in a certain way, which is actually that of separation, therefore false perception. So it's not within integrity, unity, and oneness, which inevitably won't take us higher, but loop us back until we continue to flourish and learn the lessons that we design for ourselves in this lifetime. I hope you have a great day, and I will speak to you soon, I'm sure. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste, take care.
All to love, all to love, all to love, all to love.